Good evening.
And our guest speaker from Kolkata, Maina Goshalji, and all our members. I would like to welcome our juniors. One of you. I like to welcome our chief guest, guest speaker. And I like to welcome two more juniors. Today they are started managing our today the organizing webinar, Mr. Series and Mr. Murad. Today we are going to discuss about the topic which is very essential for the economic growth of our country, because nowadays the account is going bad and due to which bank is going on very loss. So that which our country the improve with the economic condition of our country is going down. So that's why how to control that NPA. So that is the main criteria, and that is the very thought of the all the concerned persons, financial concerned persons. So now I like to see who is involved in the NPA and how can we reduce the NPA. Today our topic will discuss on that matter. Our Professor Maina Gosal is very much experienced in that. We will talk about that. But to start with, I will say, before giving the loan to anyone, one person goes to the bank as a customer. He opens the account in the bank. So he is called a customer. After that, what happens? Considering the need, if he is going in business or thing, then he requests bankers to give loan to him. So then we call him the borrower. That is up to their state, that is up to the customer, up to the borrower. There is no concern with the valuation. So when the borrower asks for some loan, then bankers goes for legal opinion, valuation report, as well as report from the chartered accountant. So after giving the loan, before giving the loan, you can say 4 persons are involved. Number 1, bank officer. Number 2, valuer. Number 3, legal advocate, legal advisor. And number 4, your chartered accountant. If any loan goes bad, that will know either of 4 or the 4 are responsible. Yesterday I went to Bank of India General Office. Last week I went to Bank of India General Office. I was discussing about today's topic with him. Then he told that values had no concern in the NPA, because from the beginning itself they have made the value 20% lesser than what is existing. Now suppose 100 rupees, they give the value to 80 rupees, and out of 80 rupees you give the loan to the 60 rupees. So straight away he refused that no case value is responsible for the NPA cases. Now I will say, since our topic is can you control or can you reduce NPA, I like to say if the borrower after taking loan is not in a position to pay back to the banks, then we call him to the defaulter, because he is not in a position to pay the loan. Now defaulter can be categorized in 2 types. That is, one is intentional defaulter. Before taking loan, he already pre-plans that I will not pay back to the bank. From the beginning, he has come to the bank not to pay. He is called to the intentional defaulter. In such cases, what happens? Either he prepares the valuation report before taking the loan. But before going to the bank, he tells that, sir, I have prepared the valuation report. This is my value. So from the beginning itself, he had mind in paid. Number 2, nowadays the forgery documents are not coming to play. For some years back, a lot of forgery was going on. And number 2, in such type of category of defaulter, he gives forgery documents to the banks and take the loan afterwards. So this comes under the intentional defaulter. His intention from the beginning itself not to pay to the bank. So if we can control these persons, such a persons are there, and that can be controlled only by the banks because he is the first persons to go to the bank. So we must to analyze what is the intention of the borrower. If we can control this intentional borrower, then no doubt we can control the NPA. In second category, we can say that is unintentional defaulter. What happens? Unintentional comes in the either, now suppose there are 2 or 3 partners, one of them have expired, that is one case. Number 2, there may be labor strike. Number 2, there may be some natural calamity like corona, all these things. Number 4, there may be some price escalations, or there may be some government duty. Yeah, there is some relationship between money and the dollar. So in that case, the account goes bad, and that cannot be controlled. And since the intention of the borrower is to pay, but he is not in the position to pay. So such a borrower is not so much harmful like the intentional borrower. So if from the beginning, not only that, if landlords also find the intention of the borrower to be like that, he should inform the bank. Similar chartered accountant, what happens? The intention of the borrower makes them financial status from the CA. Then he prepares the property report from the chartered also. So we have to be much more careful in that intentional borrower. So if we can control intentional borrower, then we cannot reduce the NPA not at all because of unintentional borrower, because there are a lot of things. Now suppose somebody business is going on, not going on properly, so how can we control it? But we are not, our banking sector is not afraid of such type of defaulter, which we call to be the unintentional defaulter. Now think that. Now we are talking about the professional now, other bankers. That means in the finance team, bankers, valuers, legal advisors, then chartered accountant, and of course borrower. 5 teams are there. 5. अगर 5 सेक्शन से काम करेंगे, then there will no NPA. Now हमें कह रहे हैं कि बैंकर पार्ट क्या कमी है? Our chief guest is there, so I like to see this is the system of the bank, what is going wrong with them. Number 1. What happens? Since the borrower goes to the bank first, then opening the account. So existing borrower should be financed. What happens? What is the tradition going on now? The bankers are empanelling the valuers who are not in that city, and he is taking some 1,000 kilometers out of the city, and he is getting empaneled and doing the valuations. That is the number 1 mistake what the bank is taking. Now, for example, for Kanpur city is there. In Kanpur, valuers, not in Kanpur, in each and every state city there.
Sir, you are not audible, sir, right now. That's you are not audible.
He not position to come to the property for inspection, then bankers is allotting work to them. In spite of, in that particular city, there are a number of values are available. So this point is required to be checked up. If bank will be in a position to reduce the NPA. Somebody is staying some 500 kilometers, he is taking one property inspection, and he is going in there is subcontract system, percentage system, is not a system going on. So bank authority is required to be look after that, and he must see, I mean the banker should see whether his valuer is properly inspecting the property directly or indirectly. Because in the document we mention, I have inspected the property personally. Now suppose if one valuer is doing work in several cities in one day, is it possible by the valuers to do all the property inspected? So this point is required to be considered by the bank authority. Now one more point which we are coming across. Now suppose in 2024 we are sanctioning one loan. Sanctioning officer is X, value is Y. When the account goes bad, that bank officer has transferred to somebody someplace, and new valuers also comes into picture. So in spite of that, if one valuers have done the valuation during 2024 and account goes bad, then the same valuer should be asked to do the valuations of the same property. Because what happens, our valuer says, sir, I have done the property rightly, but the second valuation on the pressure of the bank is reducing the value. So that responsibility should not be taken by the bank, and the same valuer should be given responsibility to value the property even after account going back. Number two, what happens when you sell the property? We get to go to 10 places. Bhaiya, I am selling the property. Are you interested to purchase it? But what happens in the bank part, what is happening? The publicity is not there. Since publicity is there, the customers are not coming out of it. So they are not in position to know the fact. So there are a number of all these factors due to which the account, the value is coming down. And account is going increasing. One more request I like to say the bank authority that there must be some frequent meeting with the valuers, and the bankers should know who are the valuers with us, who are working for us and who are not working for us. And valuers also know to whom we are dealing, who are my officers. So there must be some interactions because we and bankers are correlated to each other. So we should have a good relationship among us. So this is the request to our banker side. They must be treated seriously, and they must work. They must alert to work rotation basis. And of course, if they found the values not suitable enough, then they may not alert to work into them. But still, they should obtain the services of the valuers of that city. Not they should hire the valuer from the city who is staying from 400 kilometers, 500 outside. This is my small suggestions to the banks, and to the valuers I like to suggest, because some of the valuers are there who is working, who is just subletting the work. This is not good. This is not what ethics says. So all should follow the ethics, and being the profession, he should not be subcontract the works. We are very responsible persons, and we are by profession we are very much good. The country and the bankers. The development of bankers as well as country depends upon us. So therefore, we should work for the banks, and banks should teach as a consultant, not as a vendor or something else. We are professionals. We are very much highly qualified and experienced. So we must be treated as a consultant, not as a vendor, but the contracts are doing. So this is my small interactions. I like to welcome once again. Happy New Year. We'll enjoy it. Now we'll start our next lecture series. You go for next chapter.
थैंक यू सर। अब मैं श्री एम के श्रीवास्तव जो हमारे आईवा के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हैं, उनसे गुजारिश करूंगा कि चीफ गेस्ट का इंट्रोडक्शन दें। थैंक यू सुरेश भाई। मिस्टर Rajat Kumar Nanda, who is the chief guest today, is working as the regional head of the Union Bank of India, Kanpur. Before joining Kanpur, he was regional head at the Hisar also. He is not new for Kanpur. He was serving here previously also. He was working here as deputy regional manager previously at Kanpur. He has a lot of experience in finance sector. He belongs to Odisha. He completed his education in Odisha. And I think this is the brief introduction of my chief guest. Now I hand over to Mr. Shirish for further meeting. Thank you. थैंक यू सर। अब मैं जो हमारे चीफ गेस्ट हैं श्री रजत कुमार नंदा जी, उनसे गुजारिश करूंगा कि आप लोग को अपना उद्बोधन दें। तो बाकी सभी लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है कि चीफ गेस्ट के अलावा बाकी सभी लोग अपने आप को म्यूट कर लें। There is a lot of disturbance from other side. Please.
Actually, I was like thinking that
Good evening. Am I audible, sir?
Yes. Yes.
सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है अपने अपने माइक बंद कर दे प्लीज। सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है अपने अपने माइक बंद कर दे, चीफ गेस्ट को छोड़ दीजिए।
Good evening. First of all, I congratulate All India Value Association from core of my heart to nominate me for address all the August gathering here on 4th of January 2015. And first of all, since we are in the first, I am rolling the ball in the dice because this is the first week of this month, financial year or this year 2025 calendar year. So I once again wish you happy New Year to all of you. My August gathering, all the valuers, panel valuers, all the bankers, all the participants in the BC, I welcome you once again in this evening. First of all, you have touched upon the very basic point of banking, because as you all know, prevention is better than cure. So I think in my 27 years service in banking sector, I am joined in the bank in 1996 as a missionary officer. And actually for 5 years I am working in credit department, and I am regional head. This is my third posting as regional head. Previous to this, I was also zonal head in Union Bank of India, Varanasi zone. Nevertheless, as I said, prevention is better than cure. So I think valuation is one type of compliance aspect, because so many of us are not treating it as compliance aspect, because whenever we are, let us say, planting a tree, if seed is good, environment good, then definitely product and tree and plant will be good only. So valuation is the first point, touching point, where we are touching the customer. You are interested with the so many most valuable work of the banking industry, because we depend on you. You are not only whoever shows whatever things about the valuation and all that, this thing, Tom, Dick and Harry, I don't care. But I will say that you are one of our most trusted channel partner, because before giving any finance, we seek your honest opinion regarding the valuation of the property. Suppose the valuation property is on your part only and your ethics only. Suppose if 100 rupees of valuation, you can easily write it 100 or 120 or 130 or 90, depends on your concise and your ethical values. It depends on your professional expertise and your professional qualities. Thing is that whenever you are putting forth and putting your signature, then you are owning the report. What is the most important, and whatever amount you are paying, it is a fee only. Suppose some valuation is, let us say, 100 crores, and somebody may write it is 120 crores, somebody write it is 80 crores. With fluctuation, it depends on person to person. But thing is that it is a vast part of due diligence. As we all know, due diligence is a very, very vital part in the banking industry or any industry. Whenever you are taking whenever as a banker we are taking a customer, or we are interested in a customer to taking it on board, we don't know whatever the consequence will be. Suppose the customer is fine, then selection of borrower customer is fine, and then rest assured 90-95% will be asset creation or running of the account will be good only. Suppose there is some lacuna in the selection of customer, suppose there is a breach of trust between the customer, banker and all that, then only there is a out of doubt regarding how to run the account, whether you will be capable enough to run the account. In the competitive sphere, what we see, generally we are getting some valuations on both the sides. Suppose 100 rupees valuation, some valuer is giving it 120, 130, some are giving as in 80, 90. Depends upon their professional quality or depend on their professional work or their experience or their risk appetite. It's so many things are there. So my honest appeal to all of you, as you are giving the valuation and you are putting forth your signature, then you are our not anything else. You are our co-partner or like us say you are a partner or let us say to the board body party, we are one of our, we are giving so many channels or opportunity to so many people, so you are one of the channel partners. As Union Bank of India, we are taking that valuation, whatever the values we are selecting for, generally we are selecting for 3 years. The valuation, we are categorizing valuation different aspect, like somebody we are selecting for agricultural land purpose, agricultural land and something, some valuations where different formats are there. I understand you are also getting same type of situations from all the banks also. Some valuations, some formats are there for plot purpose, some are for high-rise building or apartment plant purpose, some valuation formats are there for industrial area, and generally machinery and all that. For that we are getting the valuation from chartered engineers also we are getting. So depending upon the different formats are there, depending upon the type of property which you are going to value. So I think you will be definitely, there is all laid down procedure and guideline of all the banks regarding which format what they use. Das sir has touched a very vital point regarding defaulters. Defaulters means those person who are having the will that is default when somebody's account is turning into NPA after so many factors of 90 days or 180 days, particularly in the agriculture sector or depending on the cropping pattern. Whether this person, the borrower is willful or non-willful. In our banking system, as per the RBI guidelines, willful defaulter we are tracing or we are conducting willful default or not willful default on the account where the outstanding limit is more than 25 lakhs. Less than 25 lakhs, as of now, we are not taking anybody as willful defaulter. Above 25 lakhs, where there is default is there, we are taking as willful, where all the banks are scanning as whether it is willful or non-willful defaulter. So depending upon that, so many formats are there. Suppose we are taking a decision whether he is having the capacity to pay, but he is knowingly or intentionally or something or the other, he is not paid. Then we are classifying as willful default. Suppose in case of valuation also, we have to take into consideration that aspect also. Repaying capacity also, a customer is dealing with one activity. If at all he is having some other source of income, then definitely we are rest assured that our money, whatever we are lending to them, it is sure and it will be never be a NPA account. Regarding valuation, I personally say I have worked as branch manager for nearly 15 years in different branches, right from rural branches to metro branches. What I used to observe that whenever our esteemed valuers are coming to our bank or we are providing them with papers, at least I make it sure that I should visit with the valuer or engineer sir. So that once upon in my naked I also see what type of property he is offering as collateral, because depending upon the due to competition and all other factors, sometimes somewhere we are accepting properties less than 50% value. Some schemes are there where we are accepting 25% of property to the total limit. So earlier what generally you used to sanction or disperse sanction loans up to the 100% or let us say 75% of the valuation of the property. Suppose property valuation is 75%, we are giving limit of 100%. Due to the competition era or due to the so many, not now we are not going to the valuation aspect or value aspect only. So we are giving a loan on 25%, 50% collateral also. Again, this time it is collateral securities, particularly business loan, MSME. Central government has increased that fold from 2 crores to 5 crores in CGTMSE. Nevertheless, government is giving a window for to give or finance those persons who are not having any collateral property. But depend nothing to say that, but collateral property, whenever he is not giving any property as collateral, the rate of interest banks are charging, definitely they are going to nearly around 1% or more than 1% higher to the persons who are giving collateral security. So my point is that whenever the persons who is willing to avail the loan, definitely he wants it successfully. So whenever he is going to, he has to earn something more for his company or a firm or individually, whatever it may be. So he wants always that rate of interest to be minimal, and that for the rate of interest to be minimized to lesser extent to something less, he is generally offering the properties collateral. Suppose rate of interest, one person is offering collateral, security, land and building, etc. up to 75%. Rate of interest suppose X, up to 100% is offering, so X minus 1.25. when he is supporting some collateral as more than 150%, see, he may be getting X minus 0.5. It depends upon the different policy of the bank and all that. I didn't go into that micro level. Thing is that whenever he is applying some collateral, their rate of interest will be more. That means the margin, he will be getting more margin in his business, and he will be in a more better position to operate the account more feasible manner, so that there should not be any doubt regarding the operation and all that. Regarding valuation, again in our bank, it must be in all other banks that in 3 years time, we are seeking on revaluation of the report. Generally, in running account particularly, cash credit loan and other loans, generally 2-3 years as per the request or demand of the customer, we are generally increasing limit. So definitely at that time we are increasing, you are again revaluing the property, because in 3 years there may be definitely there is some upward movement of the valuation of the property, as we all know. So we are taking the property valuation once, and it my generally we are preparing as a banker, we are preparing, suppose X, Mr. X has given valuation 3 years back. Now whenever we are appointing the valuer, we are preparing some another person other than Mr. X or engineer Mr. X, we are valuing. Regarding that, stated one point that some of the valuers who was far from giving valuation far from areas from the area where they are giving valuation. It is also a point will sensitize that this type of things should be at the minimal level. In this point, I also urge the person, particularly to engineer who is in the panel of the bank, when he is giving valuation, he should also have some moral duty to show that when he is signing that I have personally inspected the property, in one day he cannot inspect the property situated in Lucknow and one property situated in Agra. Very, very difficult. We are finding very difficult. So Das sir has definitely given a new light into we also work upon. Generally, we should not indulge in this type of activity, but whenever if at all in any banks there is this type of thing is happening, so we have to increase our panel valuers, so that this type of situation should not arise in the field. In the particularly, I am finding in Kanpur here that the chartered engineers, their number is very less. So we are going to recruit or impanel some new chartered engineers in our panel, so that the valuation work should be continued in a free-form manner. Whenever there is possibility or chance is there, at least the branch or the loan officer who is dealing with the property, he should accompany the value, so that next time he will be not in a position to kidhar property hai, kidhar gaya. Regarding at the time of what I am saying, that at the time, suppose in worst event, what will happen? The account will turn empty and later on everything will gone, only the collateral will be with the bank. So you have to take the sufficient action and all that, with auction, e-auction and all that will happen. At that time, suppose, let us say at the time of 5 years ago, we are giving valuation of, let us say, 100 rupees. Now we are getting it 60 rupees, and then something we think that how it can be after 5 years, valuation becomes 50%, how it can be. So we should be prudent enough to give that type of valuation, so that in 5 years or 10 years down the line, it should not be, we are not out of any doubt. Regarding one thing, I am also saying that suppose in one bank, same value, one bank, one property, they are giving 100 rupees. Another bank, they are giving 120 rupees. So that is in my view the same value or same property, only bank name is changed. Still then there is 25% variation either upward side or downward side. I think it is not good also, because ultimately what happens, suppose in my bank they are giving 100 rupees valuation. In another bank they are giving 125 valuation. So definitely by taking this report, definitely next year I will lose that account, because when they are getting 125 rupees valuation, next time any enhancement, in my bank, whenever the customer requires enhancement of 100 to 100, let us say 100 to 120, so my collateral coverage will be less than 100%. In one other bank, the same value is the same, within 1 month he is giving 125. Then definitely that account will be taken over by that bank. I mean, I am losing the customer also. So I think you are good enough, and you should be prudent enough, and you should make justice to the whatever the valuations you are giving. And I know all of us in India, basically more or less we are to some extent reach the above. Still then, reach the above is there, but still then, what is the prudent valuation in the market or what is the present condition? You know better in the same locality what is the amount going on, how the procedure going on, and you depending on the strength of the promoter or promoter, you also can take some decision or some let us say some calculative prudent risk so that you can negotiate in the valuation of the property and all that. Again, this ultimately boiled down the what is the suppose in the worst case when we are in a position in the worst case let us say 1% or 0.1% time we are going for service and all that we are selling that property. But at that time suppose it 5 years ago it is 100 rupees, now it is 60 rupees, then somebody somewhere is not feeling that at the time of giving the valuation that the gentleman has not prudent enough to give proper valuation. In the suppose in the worst scenario case like pandemic, corona and all that, I can accept it. But otherwise, let us say some government regulation is there, some road has come up, something, then their valuation may be down. But in general case, it should not be down. Down to the 5%, 3%, 10%, 2-3 years, it is also sometimes acceptable. But 25 or 20% down after 5 years, in my knowledge, it is not at all acceptable. But the thing is that at the time of selling, we are also taking valuation from our fellow valuers. They are giving that valuation depending on lower side. But anyway, actually, I compliment all my channel partners, valuers that they are taking care of all of us bankers because on their signature, on their trust, on their involvement also, only we are able to finance these people. Otherwise, we are not in a position because as a employee of the bank for every 1 and 2 years we are going to place, we don't know exact locality of the thing. Still then we are accepting your reports and as far as my knowledge and concern is there, we don't came across any type of such type of incidents here, particularly in Kanpur. Let us say how things are moving on, and we are quite hopeful that we will take your support and services so that we also do justice to our alma mater banking partner. And that is my small request from my side. And thank you all for inviting me as chief guest of this meeting. Thank you, sir. Now I hand over to Mr. Siriji for his further deliberation. Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू सो मच सर अपनी इनसाइट्स बताने के लिए वैल्यूएशन के रिगार्डिंग और बैंकिंग का जो पर्सपेक्टिव है उसके रिगार्डिंग। अब मैं आग्रह करूंगा मुकेश कुमार सिंह सर से जो इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंजीनियर्स के चेयरमैन हैं कि अपना संबोधन दें।
Thank you, Mr. Srish Misra ji. I am very delighted to listen Sri Rajat Kumar Nanda ji, who was the chief guest of this today's webinar. As today's topic is can we reduce NPA? So that is really very interesting and very significant topic in present situation because our government of India and Honorable Prime Minister has set the goal of becoming the third economy in the world and more than 5 trillion economy. So we have to reduce the NPA, non-performing assets. Without reducing NPA, we can't achieve this target. 5 trillion economy, if every rupee of our country that will come on business end, then we can achieve this target. If a very huge amount of our economy or money, if it is a part of NPA, then it is very difficult to achieve this target. So I am very much thankful to the IVA. They have rightly selected the topic of present situation, and today's guest speaker Maina Ghoshal is also very competent speaker on this topic. So on behalf of Institute of Engineers as well as IVA, I would like to welcome all participants, today's chief guest as well as guest speaker for the success of this webinar. Thank you, Srish.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। अब मैं श्री सुब्रता विश्वास जी जो जयपुर से हैं उनसे आग्रह करता हूं कि जो हमारे गेस्ट स्पीकर हैं आज के उनका इंट्रोडक्शन दें।
Thank you, Shirish. A very good evening to everybody and Happy New Year, sir. Thanks to our chief guest, Sri Rajat Nandaji, for attending this seminar and give us some inspirational word. Sri Moinak Khanshal is known to us, already gone across his very beautiful write-up in our latest seminar, that is the December Kanpur mein seminar work. He covered a very interesting topic, that is the valuation in the digital age. Meeted Kolkata-based valuer, cum structural engineer, cum consultant. He's got three unique restrictions. Is that he is a valuer, he is a structural consultant, as well as a esteemed writer and author. He is expert in both movable and immovable properties, and having a quality of as an academician, other than a valuer and a structural consultant, he has written several books. He also has offered an honorary degree, doctorate degree qualification from Canadian universities. He is known to us and very competent and eminent speaker for the topic that is selected today for him. That is, how can we reduce the NP? Thank you very much, Shirish ji.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। अब मैं आग्रह करता हूँ प्रोफेसर मैनिक घोषाल जी, जो कि कोलकाता से हैं, उनसे आग्रह करूंगा कि अपना जो टेक्निकल लेक्चर है कैन वी रिड्यूस एमपीए, उस पर उद्बोधन देना।
थैंक यू सर। Sure.
आपका फोन आ रहा था
हेलो
ज्यादा बोलना ऊपर से पूछना, ज्यादा सेल्फी केस में ज्यादा ना छूटना, क्योंकि हमारा क्या करें नहीं करें, ज्यादा बाहर लोग जाके हमें क्या करेंगे।
The slides coming now?
हाँ, slides are coming, sir.
Yes sir, thank you.
Yes sir, yes sir.
So today, as Dasra was telling, as our Mr. Vishwas was telling, this my topic is strategies for reducing NPA in banking valuation. So you all know my introduction, so I am not going. The contents are part 1, understanding what are the non-performing assets. Part 2, strategies to mitigate this non-performing NPA. Part 3, role of regulatory bodies and policies in mitigating this NPA. And Part 4, case studies and real-life examples from India and from the world. So, understanding what is the non-performing assets. The definition of NPA: non-performing assets are loans or advances that are in default or arrears, payments of interest and principal by more than 90 days. Types of NPAs. NPAs are classified into substandard, doubtful and loss assets based on the duration of non-payment and chances of recovery. These are the definition and types. Causes of NPA. There are 3 causes here I cited. Economic factors, economic downturns, high inflation rates and unforeseen financial crises can lead to an increase in NPA, affecting borrowers' liabilities. Part 2, number 2, poor credit management. Inadequate credit appraisal, lack of monitoring and ineffective recovery process result in poor credit management, thereby contributing to more moral NPA. And then number 3, the most important, regulatory issue. Inconsistent regulations, lenient lending norms and inadequate legal frameworks can lead to rise in NPAs and allowing more defaults. Now recently we have seen a movie where it was shown that banking employees are forcing people loans. Now this type of issue, no regulation is there, can lead to huge amount of NPA. Now, impact financial health of banks, number 1. High level of NPA reduce the provisioning of bad loans. impacting their financial health. All we know, because if NPS is a financial conflict of the bank. The signals poor asset quality is banking practices, making investments less attractive for that particular bank. And more fund tied up in NPA, banks have less capital to offer. They are reducing the overall availability of credit in the economy. So these are the impact of NPAs on the banking sector. Now strategies to mitigate the NPAs. Credit monitoring tools. Credit monitoring tools track borrower behavior and financial health, allowing institutions to identify and address potential issues before they escalate. Now, one thing I want to mention here, before, I mean, 5 years or 10 years down the line, we did not know if one party has taken loan from one bank, say another bank. We did not know he had taken another loan from another bank, PNC, or SBIC, or UCO Bank. There was a very problem in identifying those 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 defaulters. So now we have that capability. We can know if one loan is provided by that bank or third party, whether he has taken another loan from another bank or not. Now we have this probability. We have these chances to know. And predictive analytics. Predictive analytics use data and statistical models to forecast potential NPAs, facilitating proactive management and intervention. The predictive analytics, will come later. It will depend on more digital tools, more AI. We can use more AI to predict what is the type of loan, what is the type of defaulter, and whether NPAs can occur on a policy. Now, improve loan recovery processes. What is it? Strengthening legal framework. Also, by strengthening the legal framework, financial institution can ensure quicker and more efficient resolution of bad loans through streamlined judicial processes and dedicated recovery teams. If the banks have dedicated recovery teams, this focus solely on loan recovery efforts, ensuring that special resources and expertise are applied to minimize NPAs. These are the complementary factors for loan recovery. Restructuring and rehabilitation. Corporate debt restructuring is another thing. Corporate debt restructuring involves renegotiating the terms of a company's debt obligation or offering viable path to recovery while reducing NPAs. Essentially, we allow attendance to loan energy. I become debt restructuring plan was provided by converting the debt into equity. That happened. And asset quality review says that help their individuals to identify issues and early and take corrective measures to rehabilitate those assets. The same thing, they should not debt restructuring planning all those things. Rehabilitation. Now, enhancing risk management. How to enhance this risk management? Credit risk assessment models. Credit risk assessment models evaluate the likelihood of borrower default, helping financial institutions make informed lending decisions and manage risk. Diverse portfolio management. Diverse portfolio management spreads risks across various asset types and sectors, reducing the impact of any single default of the overall portfolio. And consistency policy enforcement ensure that risk management policies are uniformly applied within states. Now, role of regulatory bodies, all those things are complementary to not happening like this. And the policies of these regulatory bodies. So, Bank of India has certain initiatives, issued guidelines and directives to ensure the stability of financial systems, including capital adequacy, risk management, and operating for banks. Also, RBI uses strong corrective action to intervene when banks exhibit signs of stress. This involves measures such as restricting lending, and activities to rectify financial weaknesses. Now, government interventions are there, like financial security measures. Government implements these to safeguard the economy, including regulatory reforms and emerging programs, support banking institutions, public sector bank recapitalization, involves in infusing capital into state-owned banks to strengthen their balance sheets and enabling them to manage NPA more effectively. Now, international practice, these are all the national practice, the Basel III norms are a state of international practice developed by the National Committee of Regulation to enhance risk management, capital education, and liquidity, cross-border lending regulations are there. Policies risk lending across the national boundaries. Now, cross-border lending regulation is, not developed, it's not delivery. 2035. Now, case studies and real world examples. Case studies improve Indian bank recovery story. This explained and SST is very famous. What happened? This SST was called of a loan. And what happened? And the intervened, IPI norms came up, and this IBC case happened, and after a midterm, they bought this SST, and the issue was resolved. Number two, ICICI Bank and General Association, same IBC built up, IPI came up, and what happened? Ultratech Cement bought this General Association cement sector, and the case was resolved. Number three is PNB and Bhushan Steel. Same thing, IBC, IPI, all these things happened. Tata Steel came and Serbia and bought up the Bhushan Steel. So these are the recovery stories of Indian banks. And there are global NPA management examples. Aggressive loss provisions and effective debt recovery strategies to manage NPA. HSBC Bank, another important bank. Hindustan Shanghai Banking Corporation, robust India for banking corporation, robust risk management practices and stringent credit policies. They implement this robust risk management practices to reduce their NPAs. Standard Chartered Bank, another Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation. Standard Chartered Bank implementing recovery measures. They implement this credit monitoring to make the NPAs, to reduce the NPAs. These are global NPA management examples. The big banks from India should learn from these banks. How to manage NPA. Not like, some more loan you can get, the more promotion you will get. Not this type of conduct. Now, let's just learn from failures. Analyzing the failed NPA detection study is exploring what went wrong and the practice continuity will help to learn some lessons from the NPA failure. The key takeaways for improvement, summarizing the key lessons learned from the answers attempts and recognition in our banks. This will lead to more reduced NPA failures. The future direction for banks is innovation in NPA management are, digital solutions and artificial intelligence. How to innovate your NPA management? Automation, you should automate your, this process of rating codes, legal framework, all are very much important because, our courts are, at the pillar of democracy for India, one of the three pillars. So if the courts are with the banks, then of course, the bank will get more confidence in giving them loans and reduce their fees. Collaborative recovery strategies, we still have a team just like discuss the banks, we have a dedicated team to what which direction the loan is going. Strategic partnership and asset shares, we just cannot still bother the Bhushan statements and asset shares, blockchain and smart contracts. These are coming new technologies and green finance. These are new technologies and we should learn from this, green finance. Green finance, climate change, because now climate more on action is taking on climate change. Is taking plans to assess their exposure and to climate related risks and take appropriate measures to mitigate those climate related risks. You give a loan and what loan to the climate change effects, that is green finance. And blockchain improves transparency and efficiency for this contract. Automation, just telling automation is nothing but the amount of this repayment process through just reducing before if you automate loan origin. Strategic partners helps to clean balance sheets. Just I was in Bhushan Steel cases. Resources as in recovery, all those things provide better support while dealing with the defaulters. And from automated to smart contracts, there are new terms, smart contracts, which digital tools to reduce manual work and speed up the recovery. Because if you have manual work, what headache? The 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, all going up in doing the manual work, correction, reporting, all things. But if you do automated, you digital tools, this will save your time instantly and help in mitigating the NPA risks. And leveraging artificial intelligence to to identify potential NPAs and optimize recovery strategies. We should memorize, we should use this artificial intelligence to identify this. I was telling potential NPAs just before. So, technological artificial intelligence and machine learning. Because you have to analyze vast amounts of data to predict, helps in identifying patterns and trends that indicate high risk of defaulters. Number two, big data analytics. Same thing, helps in borrower here, makes conditions and economic change, helps in making informed decisions and improving your credit risk management. Number three is automation. Automation streamlines the NPA management process by handling repetitive tasks such as data entry, communication with borrowers, and tracking reduce manual errors and speeds up recovery process. This automation helps all these things. Handling repetitive tasks, data entry, communication with borrowers. All this can be done through digital, not manually, through the automation or digital. And number four is the blockchain technology, which helps in secure and transparent way to record and verify transactions, reduce risk fraud, etc. Number five is digital platforms helps in better communication between banks and borrowers, easy access to loan information, repayment option, and support payment rates. This year, digital platform, advanced analytics, segment their the people's loan portfolios, the parties' loan portfolios, identify high-risk accounts, and develop targeted recovery strategies that effective more effective and efficient NPA management. This advanced analytics and robotic process automates routine and rule-based tasks, allowing bank staff to focus on more complex and strategic activities that improve overall productivity, thus reduces time. So the technological advancement, we should focus on this to reduce our NPAs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? I am very grateful to Das sir and Iva for providing me an opportunity to present here. This program.
Professor Saab, I have a small query. Can you delve on measures the value which could prevent them? Because you see, in theory you gave, but in practice, we people are at a loss to understand how exactly we are going to go about helping the bankers in preventing NPAs. Because as a well-meaning valuer, I can only do my valuation in a fair way.
Using the fair way, but what this, new IBSC standard says, International Evaluation Standard says, or it says you have to, as a valuer, you have to help the banks in reducing NPAs. And how you can do that? You just conclude with your value, but you support, you prepare and you place the evidence which support your value. This one is the main factor. Number two, use artificial intelligence machine learning to prepare your report on such content evidence. This is number two. This is number three. You use all those new modern technologies like location and all those things to prepare your report such that by click of a mouse, the banker should know what you want to say. These three things I can say.
The amount of pressure, the amount of stress the valuer goes into creating the valuation report, you see, for such a paltry sum of fee, it becomes impossible for the valuer to go so deep into the process to come out with a report with so much competition, with so many things, so many factors working against him. The most important being time, most important being getting assignments. So how practical one should get to arrive at a value which in his opinion, because at the end of the day valuation is only an opinion. It is for the bankers to decide whether this opinion is fair, whether this opinion is unfair, it is under or it is over. How can valuer be held accountable for such a fault? Because I am talking of the accountability. Because at the end of the day, it is the accountability which prevents the valuer from getting correct value.
Yeah,
There
it's okay.
cannot be anything else. So I would request you to place some practical aspects into our minds so that we can at least take those measures within the framework that we have, that we work in and work under, so that we can come up with something which is least affecting to the value, as well as helping the bankers to arrive at a loan measure which can prevent NPs.
So,
Sir,
what solution for it?
Professor
You
Mainak.
cannot just blame it.
हेलो
Yeah.
सर, I like to disturb you. Actually चीफ गेस्ट साहब का जाना है, अपॉइंटमेंट उनका है, तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि चीफ गेस्ट साहब आपको एक सर्टिफिकेट दे दें, फिर हम लोग डिस्कशन करेंगे प्लीज़. बोगरा साहब, तो नाउ आई लाइक टू रिक्वेस्ट आवर चीफ गेस्ट
Please.
to
That is
present the certificate to our guest speaker, Professor Mainak sir. Chief guest, sir, please.
Content of the citation or certificate of appreciation, it is given to Sir Sri Mainak Ghosal sir. Sri Mainak Ghosal has successfully completed his presentation, Can you reduce NPA, in the technical webinar held on today's date, that is 4th of January 2025, on behalf of organizing the committee council, Sri Rajat Kumar Nanda, and myself, Chief Guest, Regional Head, Union Bank of India, Kanpur region, thankfully acknowledge the valuable support and wishes of all citizens. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ghosal sir, for putting your direction
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
biased audience, and I am really learned something, so many new things from your slides and all that. So thank you, sir. Please accept our token of respect and gratitude from this All India Values Association certificate of appreciation. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All the best, sir. Thank you.
I would like to thanks on behalf of All India Values Association. I would like to thanks our chief guest who spared his time. Though he was not in Kanpur, he had gone to Jhansi to inspection of site and he had come and joined us. I would like to give a lot of thanks to him from All India Values Association. Thanks, sir. I like to thanks our chief guest for spending his important time to us. On behalf of All India Values Association, I like to thank him. I expecting that to get some support from him towards the values fraternity, so that he can represent our problems to headquarters also, to his headquarters also. So I like to, on behalf of association, I like to thanks, and by sparing his important times he had joined us. Thanks to him. Thanks, sir. Now let us
My pleasure, sir. Thank you, sir.
we'll start open discussion, please. Thanks, sir. Bogra Sahab, you may ask question to our Professor Sahab.
Yes, thank you so much. Ghoshal Sahab, I would definitely like to have your input into this aspect, that how practical measures can be taken by valuers to help bankers in reducing NPAs.
Now, see, when you do valuation, first of all, you are very experienced valuer, and banks should not, the principal of message should not held accountable directly. this value is fraud. Because we have 50 years, 40 years experience in the industry. So banks should have some ethics in calling a valuer a fraud before doing research. And if banks can do research on valuation, then why do they take us as the valuers? These things come up. Chicken is first or egg is first. So, but the thing, most shortcut, the thing we understand is you should use technology to mitigate this effect, because it's very difficult to do all these jobs at once. If you use technology, your job becomes much simpler. These complex jobs become very much simpler. Suppose you want to say search for evidence. You are given 3,000 rupees or some 2,000 rupees for a valuation. And you have to go from this place to that place to that, from that place to that place searching for data. It will be very much uneconomical, no? So that's why you should use technology. This is my first answer.
I very much appreciate your input, but I would like to have the practical aspect of it. See how you can delve into such a wide amount of data that is there on various sites, various this thing which is to be downloaded, deciphered, and then put into use to arrive at a valuation. And after that, see, I don't think any valuer, any well-meaning valuer, I would say, would want to give a value which is not practical, which is not, correct. But you see, the pressures that we work under are so much that you have to churn out a report in 3 days' time. I am doing a valuation, even if I say I am a Delhi-based guy, even if I have to go into one particular area of my city, I may not be having all the data available because no sites are available, no help is available. Because I can give you one small example that while doing 2001 value for capital gain tax purposes, I came across a court case where they said that any value assumed by you which is more than the circle value has not to be considered for 2001 value, that is 1st April 2001 value. Because if any value that you consider for tax gain purposes will be considered to be manipulated. With such a wide this thing, it's not possible for any valuer to work. That only thing we are left with when circle rates are not available, when cases are not available, there are as many as 20 centers you have to contact to get those data. So in such a scenario, and when the banker says, no, you give me the this particular thing in 3 days' time, that almost becomes impossible. So what technical tool, this thing one should use to come to a conclusion to arrive at a value?
See, to get market rates or to get the market rates, we have to go to that our West Bengal, we have government of West Bengal website. There we can get the market rates, not a problem.
The West Bengal site is very nice, sir. They give even the value. It is a very good site. The same is not available in all other parts of the country. See, in Delhi, circle rates are available only from 2007. So that becomes a question. So I request all my fellow valuers, let us discuss those cases, those incidences, those which can help others. Technically, which can help others to arrive at a value. After all, see, we should believe in healthy competition. We should not believe that some people are eating the cake and others are just watching. So the technical tool that, like you suggested, I came to the seminar last time around in Kanpur, and somebody gave a very good lecture on AI. That AI tools should be used. But using AI tools, I made a little bit of study. I could not find anything substantial. So I would like you to help us know what is the way around to get to that tool which we can use for valuation.
I will have to inform you, there are certain AI tools, I click of a mouse, they give you the what is the existing rate, construction rate or land rate for a particular site. There are AI tools,
So with everybody's permission, sir, I want to add one thing, sir. सतीश सर ने जो एक बहुत अच्छी पॉइंट रेज किया, तो हमारी डे टू डे प्रॉब्लम होता है सर, तो उसमें सर मेरा कुछ कैटेगरीज ये है सर. एक फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी वर ऑल सीनियर एंड कॉम्पिटेंट हेल्पर्स एंड वेरी हाईली एक्सपीरियंस्ड, वर्किंग फॉर सेवरल इयर्स, मेनी ऑफ अस, ऑल ऑफ अस. एक चीज हमको समझना पड़ेगा सर, जब अपन सर्फेस इवैल्यूएशन करें, बिकॉज व्हेन वी टॉकिंग अबाउट द एनपीए मैनेजमेंट we talk about surface evaluation. So sir, basically surface evaluations and the subsequent auctions by the bank or the lending agency has been done always on as is where is whatever there is basis. As is where is whatever there is basis. That is a basic, that is a line which is there in all the auction notices by all the banks and financial institutions. So first thing first, जो मेरे को लगता है सर बेसिकली क्या होता है जब सर्फेस इवैल्यूएशन हम लोग करते हैं by the surface valuers, इसमें क्या है, बैंक हमको बोलते हैं जो सेम फॉर्मेट है, जो रिटेल लेंडिंग के लिए, नॉर्मल लेंडिंग के लिए, जो ऑनगोइंग कॉन्सेप्ट के लिए जो वैल्यूएशन किया गया, सेम फॉर्मेट यूज करने बोलते हैं, ठीक है ना, बेसिकली बात है. एंड आई थिंक दैट इज बेसिक प्रॉब्लम. 2 दिन पहले मेरे से एक सीनियर वैल्यूअर की बात हो रहा थी, क्या उससे भी एक मतलब जैसे अभी कैनरा बैंक के इंडिपेंडेंट बॉन्ड के इशू पर बात करें तो उसमें अंदर में बोल रहे हैं साहब ऐसा है एनबीसी का सर्टिफाइड होना चाहिए आपका बिल्डिंग्स जो है. अरे भाई जो सर्विसी हो गया, जो स्ट्रेस एसेट हो गया, उसमें एनबीसी है या क्या है, उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है, बिकॉज दैट इज ऑलवेज on as is what is whatever there is. So my submission is that we should tell the bankers that there should be the format of valuation must be different. It will be different from the general format for general lending or the ongoing concern. When general lending is going on, this is for the ongoing concern. But when you are doing surface evaluation, so this is not the ongoing concern. That has already been closed down basically. महिला मुझे साहब की ना मेरे एक सवाल क्वेश्चन से क्वेरीज है. साहब 10-12 साल 15 साल पहले एक बहुत अच्छा कॉन्सेप्ट जो आरबीआई लेके आया था अलॉन्ग विद द फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री, दैट इज द एआरसी, दैट इज एसेट रिकंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी, दैट हैज बीन लेटर ऑन रिप्लेस्ड बाय दिस आईबीसी एंड आईबीबीआई, देन सीओसी एंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स. एसेट रिकंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनी वाज अ नाइस एक्सपेरिमेंट जहां पर different banks as a stakeholder along with the specialized agency वो basically बात है, and they have started very fine. And during time बहुत सारे ARC इंडिया में तैयार भी हुआ था, they are also काम अच्छा कर रहा था. Somehow that experiment आज की तारीख में चला नहीं basically. What is the result? What is the result for that? ARC चला नहीं अपना, because जो हम सारा बात कर रहे हैं बहुत अच्छे informative of input दिया है, that is टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट, हमको समय के साथ चलना है आगे. इनोवेशन से इनके मैनेजमेंट में जो एआई/एमएल की बात कर रहे हैं और सारे सूत्र का बहुत ये केवल एक स्पेशलाइज्ड एजेंसी, स्पेशलाइज्ड प्लेटफॉर्म ही कर सकते हैं और जनरल इफेक्ट है. बेसिक ऑफ द कांसेप्ट, न्यू कांसेप्ट मेरे ख्याल से कोई स्पेशलाइज्ड एजेंसी मेरे को लगता नहीं आईबीसी या जो आईपी जो है, जो आईपी अपॉइंट किया जाता है सीओसी द्वारा, वो इतना कॉम्पिटेंट होगा to use those modern technologies because they need the help of the experts or the specialist part. तो ये ARC concept fail क्यों हुआ सर? What is the reason? Monak sir.
ये ARC जो था, firstly I want to share one thing today. Can you share? Can you see here? अच्छा, वो तो आपका जो प्रश्न था एआरसी क्यों फेल हुआ सर, एआरसी में जो था ये टेस्ट और रिकवरी का होता है, और जो आईबीबीआई जो है आईबीसी इसमें टेस्ट मोर ऑन द योर resolution of the process. Now, resolution of the fighting, how to mitigate the effect, not just recovery of the asset. How to recovery is a part of that. But if the recovery is 100% possible, then what are the ways to manage the debts, That I was telling that Super Energy and Acid Bank. That debt to company to those type of restructuring. I mean, that is 100% asset recovery is not possible in every case. There are numerous factors which play havoc with this asset recovery, 100%.
As far as I understand, ARC is asset reconstruction companies. It has got nothing to do with the resolution plans. And ARC people, because of their, I have worked with for some ARCs, Mumbai based, they become over greedy and they hoodwink the public money as well as the banks, which is why they failed.
Hello.
Because there were no controls and they bypass all the banking ways and means to acquire assets at throwaway prices and then claim so much of profit making business, which was not liked by the country's lawmaking bodies, which is why it was not encouraged. ARC has got nothing to do with IBC, because IBC in company law, any asset which goes under dispute, they resolve it through that process. And more often than not, all those companies, Kushal Saab was very right in saying that Bhushan Steel and SBI and Tata Steel, this aspect, because I am a little bit involved in that case. People, how much haircut was received? As much as 70% haircut was received. So how can you, support such processes that are so bad for the investors? And that is why one day this IBC and NCLT also is going to be doomed unless corrective measures are taken. Because an investor who gets only 10% of what he invested at the end of the day, at the end of the NCLT process, he is not going to have any faith in the process. Am I wrong? Because with 70-80% haircut, which goes into the hands of these bigger, these big fish, and the investor gets nothing. So one day, the government of the day will definitely realize that this process is faulty. Unless
Hello, sir. I want to say something.
Please.
Hello, sir. Myself, Naveen Agarwal. Is I am audible?
Please, sir.
Yes, sir. Actually, one of our friends say ARC concept why it is failing. Why it is not there. I am saying that ARC is still there. And if hello.
It is very much there, sir.
Yeah, it is very much there, and it is doing also work. It is also doing work on large scales. That's why so many ARCs has been developed. Actually, the main problem of NPA is the government policies and the government. First of all, what is the problem? When any law has been built or any law has been written, it is firstly used for the negative purposes or for the wrongful things in spite of corrective measures such as ARC or NCLT. In NCLT, in ARC, both the cases. अभी हमारे सर ने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा था कि the client get only 10% to 15%. The same is in NCLT and same is in ARC.
Suppose ARC, nowadays bank, what are bank doing is that, suppose 500 crore total NPA of so many accounts, and it has been sold to ARC for 100 crores, for example. A bunch of loans will be sold to the ARC on 25% rates. So the government has to take the corrective measures. Laws are there, but they are not implemented in a required manner. And valuer is nothing to do with NPA, because in each and every field there are black sheeps. Always say valuer give values higher or unimaginary. Sir, in every field, what in doctrine, in law, in every field there are black sheeps. So do not consider that we are the Ram Bhakt, all valuers are Ram. It is not possible in my age, in coming age also. So valuers are not responsible, and black sheeps are always everywhere. So do not blame the whole profession. It will remain. It will be in past also same. In future also it will be same. Those who want to work as a good, they will work as a good only, in future and past also. So the government policies mainly. And another thing is that NPA. We are talking about NPA. The maximum portion of NPA is of corporate NPA. If the government divide NPA into two parts. One, suppose higher NPA amounts and the public NPA amount. Higher NPA amount, government has to say what they have done with policies, why they are so much amount. In general cases, NPAs of normal middle class people or bank NPAs are very much less. Bank always, or bank in maximum cases, bank will get the money by hook and by crook of NPA. But in big cases, such as Ghoshal sir said, Bhushan Steel, with DHFL, what they have done in Bhushan Steel, and they have liquidated all the properties just for rupee 10 to 15% rates. So NPA is cumulative, but government has to differentiate this. All big NPAs should government to take care of itself. We are wrongly blamed in each and every cases कि valuers जो है ज़्यादा वैल्यू देते हैं. नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. हमारे ये तो हर केस में रहता है सर, हर फील्ड में रहता है. अब मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ आपको. मैं मेरठ से हूँ. हमारे यहाँ there are lot of meat plants in outskirts, and one road is connecting to the main road and going to a village about 2 kilometers. When meat plants are growing in the time of Samachar party, that land is a precious land. You will not get the land at any rate. When UP government में Yogi Sarkar, I am not a political person, just I am giving an example. When Yogi government came, they start tightening the screws, and all those meat plant has been closed. 100% closed. Nobody is there today. Nobody is there, and nobody is willing to take the land at 500 rupees. Suppose that the rate was 10,000, today nobody is willing to take 500. So मेरा कहना ये है that belongs to the government. Government should not take development activities on their political angles. Suppose that government sanctioned some project, but later on government changed, the project was stopped. What is the fault of bank or what is the fault of valuer? That are the main points which I want to focus. NPA belongs mainly to government policies and the government. If government strict itself for sanctioning of loan and favors, then no NPA will not grow. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Also, apart from government policies, banks should have their own resolution mechanism. Big banks of World Banks, Bank of America, foreign banks, HSBC, I was telling Standard Chartered Bank, Barclays Bank, they have their own policy to reduce NPA. And you see, go to the website and you see how much reduced their NPAs are compared to our Indian banks. Banks, not government, we should not depend. Government तो है, top down approach, pan India तो है, लेकिन बैंक का जो local level पे आपका NPA resolution mechanism का एक ADSR mechanism अच्छी तरह से रहना चाहिए.
यस सर, उसमें भी क्या है सर, उसमें भी क्या है, जैसे सर एक चीज और कह रहा हूँ सर, बस प्लीज, है ना, क्या है सर कि जैसे मैंने कहा कि ब्लैक शिप्स वो हर फील्ड में है.
ब्लैक शिप का तो कुछ होता
नहीं सर प्लीज पुट मी माय पॉइंट सर, प्लीज सर, जैसे क्या होता है, हम एक वैल्यूएशन करने गए और हमने एक वैल्यूएशन करी और हमारी रिपोर्ट सपोज एक्स अमाउंट की आई, ठीक है सर, बैंक को वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं है क्योंकि बैंक को वाई अमाउंट चाहिए था और हमने वो करा नहीं. कोई भी हो, एक्स मेरा कोई भी फ्रेंड हो, उसने करा नहीं, तो बैंक का रोल है, वो क्या करता है, एक्स अमाउंट की रिपोर्ट हटा के उसकी जो वाई अमाउंट की रिपोर्ट है वो लगा लेता है, ठीक है. और वो अगर एनपीए होता है तो ये है, अगर किसी वैल्यूअर ने किसी रिपोर्ट को कोई कंडीशन लगाई है, कोई बात कही है, बैंक शुड गिव 100% क्रेडिट टू हिम and want justification from him why you are giving so much value. Valuer will give the justification, but instead of that they simply go to another valuer. This is the problem. Carry on sir.
मेरा एक और कहना है सर कि हम कह तो रहे हैं कि हमारे बीच में ब्लैक शीप होंगे और ये होगा वो होगा, सारी बातें अपनी जगह हो सकती हैं, मैं उनको डिनाई नहीं कर रहा, मगर मेरा कहना ये है कि एट टाइम्स हम लोग भी, जैसे घोषाल साहब ने कहा, जो टेक्निकल एडवांसमेंट्स हैं, जो अल्टरनेटिव मेथड्स ऑफ वैल्यूएशंस हैं, उनको कंसिडर नहीं करते हैं. अगर हम करते हैं तो बैंकर्स जो इवन वो जीएम बने होते हैं और दे आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ. सी आई रिटायर्ड एज अ सुपरिटेंडिंग इंजीनियर, आई नो द बेसिक सिविल थिंग्स.
सर मैं एक बात कहूंगा, जो भी कोई प्रोफेशन कर रहा है, जो भी कोई जिस भी फील्ड में हो, डॉक्टरी में हो, इंजीनियरिंग में हो, किसी माइनिंग में हो, किसी में हो, वो अगर लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी को फॉलो नहीं करेगा, then he will be responsible to each and everything. Every person have to play with latest technology and latest deeds, sir.
methodologies.
But yes sir. हाँ, क्योंकि सर हम एजुकेटेड इसलिए हैं सर, हमने इंजीनियरिंग क्यों करा, हम क्या आज वो 1960 का करेंगे, नहीं सर, आज हम 2024 का करेंगे, कल को 26 का करेंगे, कल सबको 27 का करेंगे, जो भी टेक्नोलॉजी होगी.
सर आई एम एडिंग टू दैट ओनली.
यस सर,
मैं उसी बात को हाईलाइट करने की कोशिश कर रहा था कि देखिए ये सब तो होता ही रहेगा, ये कमियां रहेंगी, हाँ, लोग कैच करते ही रहेंगे.
बिल्कुल.
हाउ बेस्ट एज एन एसोसिएशन वी शुड इवॉल्व वेज टू सेफगार्ड आवरसेल्व्स.
यस सर.
इसको कैसे सेफगार्ड करें, हम इससे कैसे बचें. जैसे हम लोग पिछले 2-3 साल से लगे हुए हैं कि इंडेमनिटी बॉन्ड का जो चक्कर है वो चलता ही जा रहा है. देयर इज नो रेजोल्यूशन. हम एक स्टे लिया है एक जगह से, वो कोई बैंक मानता है, कोई नहीं मानता, कोई एम्पैनलमेंट में लिख देता है कि ये होगा तो इस कंडीशन पे हम कर देते हैं, जैसे लागू हम आपको पकड़ लेंगे. हम उसका सोल्यूशन नहीं ढूंढ पा रहे हैं. उसका कारण ये है कि इंडियन बैंकिंग एसोसिएशन ने ठान लिया है कि इंडेमनिटी बॉन्ड तो आपको देना पड़ेगा, हर हाल में देना पड़ेगा, लेकिन उस इंडेमनिटी बॉन्ड की क्या शर्तें हों, उस पर कितनी हम पे पेनल्टी लगाई जाए. क्या हम 2,000-3,000 रुपए की जो वैल्यूएशन की फी लगते हैं उसके लिए हम अपनी प्रॉपर्टी लिख के दे देंगे. आफ्टर ऑल पेनल्टी का भी कोई एक्सटेंट होना चाहिए. इट शुड बी डिटरमिन्ड. वी शुड हैव अ डायलॉग विद देम कि ठीक है आप पेनल्टी लगा रहे हैं, हमारी फीस का 10 गुना लगा दीजिए, हमारी फीस का 5 गुना लगाइए. ये थोड़ी है कि अब सारा का सारा गलती हमने ही कर दी, क्योंकि आफ्टर ऑल एंड ऑफ द डे वैल्यूएशन इज ओनली एन ओपिनियन, and person who accepts the opinion is equally guilty, equally responsible. Why should the entire blame be put on valuers? This is the thing which I want to emphasize on this forum. And I came across a case when one of my friends, he was an environmental he did a structure job in Himachal Pradesh. The guy, he had taken an insurance. He took a professional insurance, professional indemnity insurance. He had given a structure design for a hotel, government hotel. And due to the landslide and all those things, that hotel collapsed. It developed cracks. It did not collapse altogether. It developed cracks and a case was filed and he was given a penalty of 25 lakhs. And the fee that he had charged was only 1.75 lakhs for the structural design. He was given this, तुम 25 लाख रुपए के तुमको पे करना है पेनल्टी के तौर पे, तुम्हारा लाइसेंस भी कैंसिल हो जाएगा, सब कुछ हो जाएगा. He had taken this insurance and the insurance company was good enough to fight the case for him and he got 22 lakhs back. He was saved. There is no other thing at our disposal. Instead of fighting the system head on, let us find ways and means to help save ourselves. This is what I have been trying to tell. Even during the seminar, I could not complete my this thing because it was a different topic altogether. And I would like all of us to think over it, brood over it. Instead of fighting the system, we should try to find ways to save ourselves. Because if such a situation comes, the indemnity bond is definitely levied on us. After all, we have to work in the system. We cannot go out, see, even if you able to get some assignments outside of banks, there are few and far between. Banks are your major cost, banks and NBFCs. So I just would like to present this case that we should find ways, we should find तरीका कि हम अपने आप को बचा पाएं ऐसे केस में, ताकि हमारी सारी की सारी जीवन भर की कमाई एक 4,000 रुपये 5,000 रुपये की वैल्यूएशन के लिए ना चली जाए. And there are ways. And most insurance companies are not advertising this thing. With lot of pressure, lot of ways and means, they come out with one or two policies. So मेरी आप सबसे करबद्ध प्रार्थना है कि इसके बारे में सोचें.
थैंक यू सर. मेरे ओपन डिस्कशन अच्छी हुई. तो बोगरा साहब का बात भी है, नवीन अग्रवाल साहब, विश्वास साहब का बात भी ठीक लगा. एक्चुअली हमें खाली घर के अंदर बैठ के पढ़ाई सुनने से मतलब नहीं, हमें उसको रिप्रेजेंट करना चाहिए. तो रिप्रेजेंट करने के लिए हमें गवर्नमेंट को क्या लिखना चाहिए, क्या नहीं है, एनपीए इसका मतलब हम लोग रिड्यूस कर सकते हैं तो क्या कर सकते हैं, इसमें क्या क्या डिमेरिट्स है, इसके बारे में हम लोग को आलोचना मतलब डिस्कशन करना बड़ी ज़रूरी है. तो मैं चाहूँगा कि आप तीनों तो अच्छा डिसीजन किए हैं, तो आप हमारी टीम में रहें ताकि हम उस पर आगे कार्य करें. मैना घोषाल जी भी रहेंगे. तो अगर और कोई मेंबर भी इसी में हमारा साथ दे ताकि एक टीम बना के हम लोग डिसीजन कर लें और थ्रो मेल हमको भेजे सजेशन, हम इसको गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को इसको रिप्रेजेंट जरूर करें, मिनिस्टर फाइनेंस भी करेंगे. तो
सर आई एग्रीड विद यू सर, आई एम अवेलेबल एट एनी टाइम सर.
ठीक, थैंक यू सर. मेरे ख्याल में हमारा टाइम भी हो रही है, तो मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा सीरीज़ को कि आगे अपना बढ़ाएं, आगे कार्यक्रम आगे बढ़ाएं. थैंक यू. सीरीज़ प्लीज़.
थैंक यू सर. अब मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा आनंद सर को, जो कि हमारे लीगल कमेटी हेड हैं और वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हैं ऑल इंडिया बैंकर्स एसोसिएशन के, कि जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का केस चल रहा है हमारा स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, उसके बारे में अपने कुछ वर्डिक्ट दें.
हेलो, मेरी आवाज़ मिल रही सभी को?
हाँ, आ रही है.
ऐसा था कि स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के खिलाफ विजय रघुनाथ सर ने 2020 में जो केस सुप्रीम कोर्ट में फाइल किया था, उसमें हम लोगों ने इंटरवीनर बनने के लिए अपनी एप्लीकेशन लगाई हुई थी, जो कि 15 जनवरी को हेयरिंग पे लगी हुई है. और उसमें ये कंप्यूटर जनरेटेड डेट है और नंबर जो है 40वें नंबर पे लगा हुआ है केस. और ये क्या स्थिति होगी ये कुछ नहीं बता सकते हैं. अगर हेयरिंग पे आता है तो सुनवाई होगी. और इसमें जो पिछला पहले ऑर्डर किया गया था, तो उसमें इतनी सारी चीज़ें हुई हैं कि बाकी भी लोग जो अलग अलग स्टेट में जिन्होंने केसेस फाइल कर रखे थे अलग अलग हाई कोर्ट्स में, तो उनमें से भी काफ़ी लोगों ने उस केस को ज्वाइन करना शुरू कर दिया है और कुछ लोग ज्वाइन भी कर चुके हैं। तो इसमें जैसे कि बिहार से जो केस लड़ रहे थे अपने भाई बंधु, उन्होंने भी इस केस को ज्वाइन किया है। एमपी से लड़ रहे थे, राजस्थान से थे और तेलंगाना के 2 थे और केरला के। अभी तक इतने लोगों ने इस केस को ज्वाइन किया है। जब शुरू में आईबा ने इसमें सोचा था कि हम इंटरवीनर बनेंगे, तो कई सारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कह रहे थे ये गलत कर रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए। लेकिन अभी जो हमें लेटेस्ट अपडेट मिला है उसके हिसाब से लोग कह रहे हैं इन्होंने ठीक किया था और आईबा ने ये सही स्टेप उठाया था, ऐसी हमें जानकारी मिली है। यही इसका अपडेट है। लेटेस्ट डेट फॉर 15 जनवरी क्या होता है कोर्ट में, उसके बाद जो भी होगा उसको अपडेट।
सर, क्या आप ऑफिशियली कंफर्म कर सकते हैं कि आप उसमें इंटरवेनर हैं?
ऑफिशियली का क्या मतलब?
सर, जैसे मैं ये बताता हूँ सर, पिछले दिनों जो जजमेंट आया था और जो वो हुआ था कि सारी एप्लीकेशन सब जगह से क्लब कर दी जाए सबकी, तो उसमें
वो अलग मैटर है। क्लब करना एक अलग मैटर है और इंटरवीनर करना है।
अच्छा, ओके।
थैंक यू सर। और अब मैं अपने ऑल इंडिया वेलनोट्स एसोसिएशन के जनरल सेक्रेटरी श्री के उपाध्याय सर से आग्रह करूंगा कि जो हमारा वेबिनार है उसके लिए सभी को वोट ऑफ थैंक्स दें।
धन्यवाद सुरेश जी। सबसे पहले तो सर मैं अपने प्रेसिडेंट श्री श्याम सुंदर दास जी का जो है बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि वो जो है निरंतर प्रयास से जो है उनकी जो है ये एक्टिविटी चल रही है और सभी को साथ में जोड़ने का प्रयास जो है उनका एक सफल उद्देश्य के कारण चलता चला जा रहा है। मैं अपने चीफ गेस्ट श्री नंदा जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ, जैसे कि उन्होंने अपना कीमती समय निकाल करके हमारे इस वेबिनार में एज ए चीफ गेस्ट आए। मैं अपने आज की जो है अपने गेस्ट स्पीकर मिस्टर मैंने घुसाल जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि अपनी जो है उन्होंने किस प्रकार से जो है एनपीए को रिड्यूस करके हम लोग जो है वैल्यूअर्स की मदद कर सकते हैं बैंकिंग के साथ में जुड़ते हुए अपना उन्होंने जो है एक ज्ञानवर्धन प्रेजेंटेशन दिया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैंने घोषाल जी। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंजीनियर्स लोकल चैप्टर्स कानपुर लोकल सेंटर का, उनके चेयरमैन मिस्टर मुकेश जी का, उनके सेक्रेटरी श्री दीक्षित जी का, जो हमारे साथ सहयोग में जो है इस वेबिनार में जो है आते हैं और प्रेरणा भी देते हैं, क्योंकि हम लोग सब पहले से भी इंजीनियर्स हैं और बाद में हम लोग सबसे वैल्यूअर्स बने हैं। तो इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ इंजीनियर्स का भी कानपुर लोकल सेंटर का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैं धन्यवाद अपने एसोसिएशन के वे जो लीगल टीम के हेड मिस्टर आनंद सिंह जी का देना चाहता हूँ, जिन्होंने अपनी पूरी अपडेट दी है और एक टीम निरंतर लीगल टीम्स की जो है निरंतर मीटिंग करते हुए उसका जो है निष्कर्ष जो है इस वेबिनार में उन्होंने बताया। मैं धन्यवाद अपनी पूरी जो है मेंबर्स का करना चाहता हूँ जो इस वेबिनार में जुड़े और अपना जो है पेशेंस इस पूरे वेबिनार को जो है सुना और एक्सचेंज ऑफ थॉट्स भी किया उन्होंने। मैं इस वेबिनार के जो है संचालक श्री सुरेश मिश्रा जी का भी धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ जो सफलतापूर्वक इस संचालन भी उन्होंने किया है। धन्यवाद सभी का। थैंक यू ऑल फॉर ज्वाइनिंग दिस वेबिनार। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
हम
Thank you.
Thank you.